And happy Friday. We're celebrating the end of the week by sending Rod on the road.
Yeah, and this morning he is in Sandy in Clackamas County spending time with folks at the very iconic Joe's Donut Shop that you see right there off the highway. Good morning, Rod. We are so jealous.
Good morning. You know, they open up at 4 o'clock. They open up before we do, which is unheard of, right? But Joe's Donuts in Sandy, today we're going to introduce our Northwest viewers to this wonderful community. So Nicholas, good morning, and Calvin, good morning. They are our first sunrise takers of my offer to come in and get a free cup of coffee and a free donut this morning. Pretty good deal, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how about that, weatherman? Picking up the tab. All right, so more from Joe's Donuts. It is an iconic part of Sandy, and for a lot of people, an iconic part of their drive up to Mount Hood. I do want to get you to the weather. Hey, so Sandy, we came up on Tuesday. We had so much fun, Rod on the road. And on our Facebook shout-outs, a lot of you mentioned what you love about Sandy is Mountain Moka Espresso. Not open yet, but I'm sure they soon will be. Also, an item that you mentioned, number one, was Ant Farm. It's a nonprofit restaurant that uses the funds to do community work. We're going to talk about Ant Farm when we come up. And we're featuring, of course, the iconic Joe's Donut Shop. That's all ahead on Rod on the Road Friday. Good morning. You know, when we put out on our KGW Facebook page, we were coming to Sandy and we asked for your ideas. We had just shy of 400 comments of places we should check out. Number one, and I mean number one by far, was where we were standing in front of right now. This is Ant Farm, and notice the sign says indoor learning. Now, they don't open until 7 o'clock. This is a coffee house, a restaurant that I'm told the food is really good. The menu looks terrific, by the way. But more importantly, it's become a community center. They're a nonprofit. They use the funds for a number of programs. They work with Clackamas County Juvenile, for example, to get people involved and down maybe a better path of their lives. So it's a tremendous community outreach program. I came up here and I talked on Tuesday with Nupa, who's the executive director.
Like, this is known as the cultural arts, so we have art and culture, poetry slams, and there's the cafe and bakery, and then in the back here we have the Access Learning Center, which is a tutoring center.
Tutoring for what?
Tutoring for middle school, grade school, high school. We have community volunteers come in and do that. And then in the community we have like several programs out in the community. We have a garden, we run the farmers market, we put crews up on the mountain building trails. We'll have 80 kids working for us this summer.
Where did all of this come from, the idea for Ant Farm?
So I'm actually an occupational therapist, and I've worked in the system forever. I live up on the mountain, and what I discovered is that the youth in the world, they can go in the little therapy room and say whatever they got to say, but we wanted to engage them in meaningful, purposeful life activity.
Hey, I mentioned our Facebook shout out. So here are some spots that some of our viewers said, hey, Rod, you got to check out. So take a look at this. Number one on the list, Jamie Grass saying, hey, my grandpa, in fact, used to stop by Joe's Donuts each morning. We're going to be back live at Joe's coming up in just a bit. Valerie Wickland says, Ant Farm is the best. Thank you for pointing us here. She says, wonderful food, helps the community. And then Gina Horn, shout out to Pioneer Coffee. She says, great drinks and the best service. Well, we stepped outside. We're along Highway 26, and important to note that this section of the highway has been dedicated to the Blue Star Memorial Byway, a tribute to our Armed Forces of America, the Sandy Garden Club, making that dedication possible. And behind me, the VFW Memorial, never to be forgotten, the people, men and women that have given their lives to service of our country. We're going to step in the trees. That's Meinig Park, and talk about Sandy, the community, as Ride on the Road continues on a Friday. So Meinig Park, basically the city park, and there's history here with the naming.
Absolutely. It was one of the founding families here in Sandy who put a lot into our city to get it going.
Oh my goodness, this is beautiful.
There's so many events here too during the summer.
Well, I see the big bandstand, and this is getting ready for the Sandy Mountain Days, which must have been in the news because I've heard of this.
Oh yeah, it's one of the biggest events in Oregon.
So you have live entertainment, obviously, bands, music.
Right, yes. The Mountain Festival Committee they set up in here all through the park for vendors and booths, and then they have music.
So one thing that's unique about Sandy, that Highway 26 strip that we've all driven on to go to Mount Hood and to come back home. Maybe we stop and get a bite to eat or gas up and that sort of thing. That is downtown,
That is our downtown, yes,
which feeds a lot of the business, the traffic.
correct.
Makes for a noisy downtown.
It does. We do have some of the struggle of getting the cars to stop. It's kind of been that million-dollar question. How do we get the cars to stop and spend more time here in Sandy? Because it's a great community and we'd love to share it with more people.
It is a wonderful community, of course, part of Clackamas County, and depending on the study that you look at, it's the second to third fastest growing community in Oregon. How about that, Sandy? We've walked down into the park. I just love the shelters that are all handmade, just beautiful down here. And again, this will be one of the focus points of Sandy Mountain Days coming up in July. They shut down part of the road, and it's kind of their premier summer event in the city, and it sounds like if you haven't been, it's going to be a great Saturday or Sunday to come up and enjoy in mid-July when that gets going. Hello, everybody. So you're looking at the original Joe. That's the big guy with the mustache down to his knees. Turn around, Joe. I want him to see the back of your shirt. And then in fact says, I'm Joe. I like that. Now, so the point of this is we're talking progress, ladies and gentlemen. Now here's Sherry. Sherry, what time did you take over? What year did you take over Joe's?
In 03.
In 2003.
Right.
All right. We're going to talk with Sherry coming up in about 10, 15 minutes about the donut shop, which has become and it has been iconic for years here in Sandy. I don't know what it is about the applesauce donuts, but I think those are my family's favorites. Sherry Vargo took over Joe's. It's iconic back in 2003. So do you actually put applesauce into the applesauce donut? I must know, and tell me the truth.
Yes.
You do?
Yes. Yeah. It's cinnamon and applesauce, and then it's mixed together and then fried just like a regular donut.
Okay. So this is kind of cool. When I was talking to Sherry, hey, can we come to your spot to do Ride on the Road? And you come to work around 9 in the evening?
That's correct. About 9 o'clock at night, and then we usually get done about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
So you are the person that makes the donuts.
Yes. I am one of those.
So tell me about the people of Sandy. I mean, you enjoy really having one of the iconic businesses here in town. What do you think it is about this community that just keeps Joe's Donuts going?
Just being a small town, everybody talks about Joe's. People going to Bend, going to the mountain. It's just become just like a regular pit stop.
You are. My family, we never go to Mount Hood without stopping and picking up a dozen. One time we picked up 3 dozens. All right, here are some of those other shout-outs we had on our KGW Facebook page and what people told us we must check out in Sandy. And Anna Eaton says, love Mountain Moka. It's just across the street from us. Kenna Davis, Thai Home, which is on Proctor here in downtown Portland. Had several people mention Thai Home. Says the owners are wonderful, great food and service. And then Graham Moorhead says, I know this sounds weird, but Graham says the breakfast burrito at the Shell station. Is anybody here? Yes! Eric, get this gentleman. He's shaking his head. Yes, the breakfast burrito at the Shell station. I plan to check that out before we leave town. I have to admit, that's my favorite comment. So do they have sausage and bacon in that breakfast burrito at the Shell station? He's saying, yes, they do. All right. Maybe you've got a little rivalry on your hands there. The Shell station breakfast burrito.
Rod, what do you have coming up for us?
Well, we stepped across the street, and we're over here now in front of Centennial Plaza. I know Sandy Mountain Days uses this space. The town of Sandy, so much history here. 1911 is when it became a city, but it was settled all the way back in the 1850s. Anyway, coming up, we finally get out, walk the streets. We meet the people of Sandy. We'll have their stories about their hometown. You told us when we put it out on Facebook when we were coming to Sandy what we should go do, and we spent Tuesday doing what some 400 nearly people told us to do. And we also met people, and of course we have the good time of asking them to tell us about their hometown, and here are those stories. That's a lot of hay. How are you? So this is my first experience in Sandy. We pulled up, it's a beautiful sunny day. We noticed the food carts, and I thought, oh, food carts. I'm calling this the Trail Poke.
You're gonna have to take a bite right out of the middle.
So far, I love Sandy.
I've been doing food service for 46 years. And these are the best customers. I tell everybody that all the time. And we have the people that are heading to Bend, heading up skiing. Now they're starting to go do the bike trails and hiking and everything. We get a lot of new people every day.
Downtown Sandy. It is centered along this busy stretch of Highway 26 that we all use to get to Mount Hood and come back on. These businesses, in fact, depend on us stopping, jumping out of our car, getting a bite to eat, frequenting their locations. When you think about this area, when you tell people that don't live here, what do you tell them?
I like Sandy, honestly. We come here to do our grocery shopping. Obviously, our dentist is here. We like coming to the library.
Why do you love it so much?
It's just home. I like the rural setting.
Of course, you cannot come to Sandy without stopping at the Johns Rudd viewpoint. It's just past the new high school. You've got the Sandy River below us. The town is named after the river. And of course, the beautiful, majestic Mount Hood on the horizon. First time to the viewpoint.
It is, yes.
Tell me what you're seeing.
I mean, we see Mount Hood, we just see these luscious greens, and it's absolutely breathtaking.
You're from outside of Chicago. Would you say Illinois is more flat or Oregon?
I'm gonna go with Illinois. Yeah. We don't get these kind of views.
We'll send it out one more time to Clackamas County. Hey, Rod.
Yeah, a big thank you to Sandy and everybody that got on our Facebook pages and told us where we should be going. We hope you enjoyed this week's Rod on the Road and the beautiful town of Sandy that a lot of us consider the gateway to Mount Hood.